Welcome to today's Q&A. Like always, if you have a question, feel free to just reply to the email that you click through to get here. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I have a couple questions from people who have sent some stuff over in the last couple days, and we're going to be going through that. Also, I want to say one other thing because I want to get it on tape, so I'm forcing myself to do this. I've been slowly working on a new tutorial, and the idea is I want it to be a drawing 101 tutorial where it walks through all the steps of an introduction to digital drawing. So it'll cover everything from drawing tablets to just getting started in drawing and practice habits and that sort of thing. And as I started to put it together, it's becoming very large. A lot of the stuff that I'm including in this new course tutorial thing is stuff that I've talked about before, and it's stuff most of it is already on my channel. Some of it isn't, like some of the core drawing stuff, and I need some guinea pigs, and so you guys are going to be my guinea pigs if you want to be. So what my plan is to keep myself on a schedule is to create one section of this drawing course a week and include it in this email. So the next email, I think we're going to be doing like drawing hands or heads or something like that. So anyway, I wanted to say it on video because I've been meaning to do it for the last couple emails and I haven't said anything about it, and then I just push it off. But now that I've said it out loud, I have to do it. Part of the reason I'm getting started on this course now is because I just launched my new course this past week, which is cartooning in Procreate. So if you're interested in that, there's a discount code in the email as well. Anyway, on to the questions. This is a question I get all the time. This is one is from Abigail, but I've gotten it from dozens and dozens of people, and they want to know, what do you do with the drawing tablets after you receive them? It depends. Usually the better the product, the more likely it is I have to return it. For example, I had to return the giant Dell screen they sent to me. Microsoft asked me to return things. Some smaller companies have contracts where they ask you to return them. For most of the things like XP Pen and Huion, they send them and you can hang on to them. I've been able to hang on to a couple of the things that Wacom has sent me. So it kind of depends on the manufacturer and how they're set up with the review process. I'd say also right now that about half of the things that I review are sent to me, and about half of the things I buy myself using the money I get from like ads and affiliate stuff from Amazon and that sort of thing through the channel. And the stuff that I buy outright, I wind up selling and then using that money again to buy more stuff to review. And if I get something from like XP Pen or Huion or something like that, I'll usually hang on to it for a couple months in case I need to retest something or want to try something out or do another promotion with them. And then after that, I'll also sell that stuff on eBay. So from time to time, I will have a sale where I'll sell it. Since a lot of people ask, I don't really do like if you email me and say, hey, can you sell me this? I usually don't do that just because I don't know. It's hard. Everybody wants one, and it's just hard to figure out who's going to be the winner of that sweepstakes. Usually I just get to a point where I say I have too many boxes. I have to get rid of these. And I just do like a wholesale like eBay dump of like 5 or 6 things at once. All right, first question is from Juan, and he's asking about Affinity Designer. He really likes Affinity Designer on the iPad and using the Apple Pencil with it, but he's also used to his workflow working on his Mac or his desktop computer, which is pretty common, I think, for most people moving to the iPad, including myself. It's just so much easier to recreate files and copy and paste things, and you just know where everything is, and you have your keyboard shortcuts. Sometimes, especially when you're doing vector work, it's just faster. And specifically, he's asking if there's a way he can use the Apple Pencil. He mentions AstroPad, but using that Apple Pencil on his Mac. So right now, the answer is, and you kind of answered it yourself, AstroPad's really the only way to do that if you want to use the Apple Pencil on your Mac and take advantage of the Mac's workflow, but also use the iPad to do it. So yeah, right now, that's all there is. There's Duet. I'm not really a big fan of Duet Display. I found it to be laggy and buggy, and it works well as a second monitor, but it doesn't work well as a drawing tablet. There's another piece of software, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did a review of it about a year ago, and I cannot find it for the life of me. But what's important to know is I really liked AstroPad much better than that one, and they all seem to be in the same price range. He also mentions the price of AstroPad. AstroPad can be kind of expensive. They have 2 versions. One is a subscription model, and one is the base model. And the base model is the one that I've been using. I had a subscription for a while, but I let that lapse. I think the base model is good enough. It's that one-time price fee. So I don't have a hardcore answer for you. I know AstroPad can be kind of expensive, but yeah, if you are going in that direction and you have a Mac, AstroPad is the way to go. Also, he included his Instagram name, so if you want to follow along to him, I will include that down below. And if you ask a question in the future and you want me to do a shout out to you, your Instagram/Twitter account, feel free, or your YouTube account too, just let me know in the email as you send it, and I'd be happy to post it in the description. Supercraft says, in your last video, you said that pineapple pizza is disgusting, but if you try it, and I don't know if you've tried it, you'll know it's delicious. I'm not saying it's not delicious. I'm just saying that whatever you put pineapple on turns into pineapple. And if I want pineapple, I'll eat pineapple. If I want pizza, I'll eat pizza. Anyway, moving on. This question is from Nicola, and what she wants to know is, can she use a screen display tablet and a non-screen pen tablet on her computer at the same time? Is that possible? So the setup that she mentions is that she's got the Huion Canvas Pro 13, which has a screen in it, connects to your laptop, and I'm assuming she has like a Wacom Intuos or a Bamboo tablet or something off to the side, and sometimes she wants to use one, and sometimes she wants to use the other. The short answer is, I'm not really sure. You're probably running into a lot of the same problems I run into, where I have to uninstall one set of drivers before I reinstall the next set of drivers. So a lot of times I run into a thing where it just doesn't work. I have had some luck with Intuos tablets running on at the same time as other things, but oftentimes it just doesn't work out well. There's conflicts. One works and the other doesn't, and so uninstalling and really reinstalling those drivers, like in your case, is just kind of a pain in the butt. If you already have them both, go ahead and try to run them at the same time. See if it works. It might not. I mean, it's worth a shot. But oftentimes what ends up happening is the pen drivers end up like conflicting with each other and causing all sorts of problems. Sean asks, what's your best guess as to why Adobe is breaking out Project Gemini full from Photoshop on the iPad? Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so a little background. Adobe is releasing Photoshop sometime this year for the iPad. They're also releasing another product called Project Gemini that looks a lot like Procreate from what I can tell. It has Kyle's brushes. I love Kyle's brushes. So they're doing two things that kind of fill the same space on the iPad, and I don't know what to think about that. I would prefer to have Adobe just focus on Photoshop and just include the brushes and stuff in Photoshop. My very first response, and I think it's on Twitter somewhere if you want to go way back in time and find it, that'd be kind of hard. But my first impression was, don't do this, Adobe. Just give us one thing. In my video, I was a little bit more upbeat because I had the opportunity to watch the Project Gemini video, and it looks really cool. But at the same time, we don't need two programs. We just want one program that works well. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't think Adobe needs like a lightweight Photoshop and a heavyweight Photoshop on the iPad. I think they just need to make one thing. For now, I'm reserving judgment, and we'll figure it out when we get there. I think what Adobe is thinking is that maybe they can create a Procreate clone, and then people who don't have a Creative Cloud subscription to get access to Photoshop on the iPad can just buy this thing for $10 the way you'd buy Procreate, and that will act as a gateway drug or something like that. So down the road, you can get your Creative Cloud subscription and get all that. That's probably what they're thinking. But if they launch Photoshop without Kyle's brushes, that's just going to be a failure to me. Not a long-term failure. I'm sure it'll rebound and they're going to add features as they go, but it's going to be disappointing. Parth asks, can you do tutorials on drawing and not just the software? And yes, I mentioned that at the very beginning of this video. I am planning on doing more drawing stuff. Part of it is that I am learning drawing and I am forcing myself to practice some of the fundamentals more, and I don't quite feel confident teaching the drawing aspect of it. I'm becoming more confident. They say that the best way to learn is to teach, and I think there's something to that. But as of right now, I think there's just better people teaching that kind of stuff, and hopefully over time my skills will improve, and I'll be a decent, art teacher as well as a software teacher. So those are today's questions. If you have a question, just reply to the email, and I will get that in my inbox. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in a couple of days.